with Iran has been costly for consumers, but for big oil, it's been quite a windfall. According to the Wall Street Journal analysts, some of the biggest oil companies stand to make billions with a B. In the past month, six analysts covering Chevron raised estimates for per-share earnings by an average of about 40%. Three analysts covering Shell increased net profit estimates by an average of 15%. This while the average cost of a gallon of gas for Americans has jumped $1 since the war began. Joining us, former governor of Washington State, Jay Inslee. It seems a little crazy to me, Governor, that Republicans and Donald Trump ran on lowering the price of oil, only for Donald Trump to start a war that raises the price of oil.
Well, it's pretty amazing that a person would run, and their principal argument was to reduce prices. And it seems to me that he gets up every morning and says, before lunch, I'm going to do something to raise the prices that everybody pays at the pump, at the grocery store, you name it. And there are so many multiple brainless things he has done, which has no beneficial impact except to increase the cost that we pay to get through a day. Certainly, the war has driven up $1, as you've said. His trade and tariff policies have been ruinous impact as far as costs. And inflation is going up again. So it's pretty remarkable. And now he's still trying to do this corrupt bargain with his cronies in the oil and gas industry so that they don't pay for the damage that they've caused.
So let's talk about that, because you're here. You want to talk about that. What is happening in Congress right now to shield all the oil and gas companies?
Well, we really feel strongly in America, nobody's above the law. If somebody does something wrong, there ought to be a relief through the judicial system. But the oil and gas industry has gone to the president and said, look, we'll give you $1 billion. You help drive out our competition. And now are trying to get the Republican Party to put in an immunity clause so that no one would be able to sue for damages against the oil and gas industries. It's really un-American because, as I indicated, first, nobody should be above the law. Second, these people are driving up costs like crazy. Third, they're making us bear the costs of their pollution. We're the ones who have to pay for the medical care of our kids who have asthma. We're the people who have to pay for the fires that burn down two whole towns because of climate change in my state. They're trying to put those costs on us and now have the hubris to go to Congress and try to get immunity.
There's a couple of cases out there. I mean, the oil and gas industry has been, there have been a number of lawsuits trying to force it to change or be more transparent from a couple of different angles. And one of them is to say that it's false advertising. Yeah. That's out there. Is that what they're trying to get shielded from?
Yes. The oil and gas executives are terrified of being held to account for their deceit and fraud. Let me tell you about that. So for about 50 years ago, the oil and gas industry scientists knew with absolute certainty that their product was going to cause catastrophic impacts because of the pollution. But instead of being honest with the American people, they've gone out with this conservative $1 million coordinated strategic effort to sow doubt about that scientific certainty so that the public would never know what's going on and would never restrain some of their pollution. So that deceit and fraud and outright lies is something that they need to be held accountable for. And that means if you have the right to get in front of a jury, you have the right to have your day in court. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of being held to account for their own lies.
Well, I'm sure they just saw what happened to Meta and Google or YouTube regarding the harm done to teenagers, and probably are worried about their version of that as well. It's so interesting to go back and look at what they knew about climate change.
It's incredible. I mean, we have memos of high-level scientists telling them, using words like, catastrophe, like threats to civilization itself, like major damage. And it's pretty amazing because their scientists, the own oil guys knew exactly what this was going to happen on global heating. So this is a tobacco story all over again. It's the opioid story all over again, where corporations lie, we suffer, and then they try to hide. There should be no hiding.
Scientists on their own payroll, writing their own white papers. Go back and research it. It is fascinating. Former Governor Jay Inslee, really great to have you. Good luck this year with the Mariners.
You bet. We'll be there.
We'll be rooting for them.
We'll see you. We'll see the Yankees.